Every Goddamn.
There it is. Man, what is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of your WWE post-show review. And man, we are here to talk about, as you can see, Backlash St. Louis. Here tonight as WWE, I gotta say,
It was good.
Outdid themselves with this Backlash card. This was a lot better going into this than I thought it would be, man. This ended up being a very good show. Man. I enjoyed a lot of this show, man. For the most part, I thought there was a lot to look at this show and be excited about, and I also thought there was a lot about this show that you could look forward and get excited about. So I thought they did pretty good tonight, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think it was overall a really fun night. There was nothing really super bad or something I rolled my eyes at or one really egregious match. Overall, basically all of tonight was really good. It was either just good or really good, and it was overall a really good night for them, I would say.
Definitely, man. Obviously, this was spearheaded by the one last time John Cena and Randy Orton stepping into the ring together for one last time, which is very interesting because I don't know why it just hit me now, but I was gonna say this right before we went live, but I figured I'd save it. Now that Orton is not the last opponent, because obviously this was marketed as one last time, who is?
I think we all know that answer, man. Or there's only really one answer I would really go with. And that's Mr. Phil Brooks. I think that's...
I have a feeling that will happen earlier, though. That's the thing about that.
So
that's the thing about that. Because when I think about Punk, I can honestly see if they did want to take the title off of him.
Like before his retirement?
Yeah, before, if they wanted to take the title off of him around SummerSlam, it really makes me think, obviously I would assume that guy would be CM Punk. So, do you have Punk take the title from him at SummerSlam, or do you have, or do you have Cena go the entirety of the year and have it, and then have them take it off of him at whatever show they're planning for December for him to be his last match? So it's interesting to me when exactly they're going to do all that and who ends up. I wonder if they even know at this point. So that's
not.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to think about, because yeah, I mean, I don't know. It all depends on how they want to do it, man. It all depends on how they want to do it. Like I said, they can definitely keep the title on him for the rest of the year, but I don't know. It's some stuff we seen tonight.
I was gonna say, yeah, they were already teasing something, which we'll get to later, but they're already teasing, maybe a reversal of or a regret of his actions this soon. It might be SummerSlam is where you get that belt taken off of him, which really does go to show who is going to be the last match. If it's not Punk, I genuinely have no idea. I can't tell you.
After all this, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility it is end up being Cody.
I wouldn't be sure. If it's Punk for the title and then Cody overall, I think I'd be okay with that. I'm okay with that, I think.
Yeah, I could. He's the only one I could really think of, because they kind of look at him as the modern day John Cena.
Yeah.
So I guess that would sort of be their passing of the torch, and I don't really think they look at anybody else and say, like,
that's another John. Yeah.
Yeah, like, who's the guy that John can pass the torch to on his way out? I feel like they look at Cody as that guy. To be able to do that. I just hope it's not for the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
I would rather we put that title on Punk and have Punk do separate things with it, and then get Cody out of the title picture for a little bit. I think that'd be the best. Outcome. But yeah, man, this show. You can argue some of this show was better than night 1 of WrestleMania.
I would say, man. I mean, Gunther had a better match than he did at WrestleMania. I'm going to say it now because we'll get to it later, man. Not only did The Miz have a better match with Gunther than Jey Uso, but Pat McAfee had a better match with Gunther than Jey Uso. Holy hell, our heavyweight champion. Good lord. But overall, man, I think tonight was really successful. I cared about a lot of these matches, and when I got them, they were all good and entertaining, and there was really no disappointment on the show overall, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah, like I said, man, there was a lot to look at and be excited about on this show, and there was a lot to be excited for the future coming out of this show. So, without any further ado, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to another edition of NHP. This is your Backlash St. Louis 2025 official post-show review. And if this is your first time watching, you guys do not know how the show works. Every Monday, we're on here after Monday Night Raw with NHP Unscripted. And every Friday at 3 p.m. Central, we are on here with the news. If you guys did miss yesterday's version of the news, you guys can now watch that on all platforms. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to stay first, join us right here live, 3 p.m. Central, every Friday for the news, man. That is The Righteous Path, as well as the Backlash predictions. We talked about The Righteous, obviously, hence the title. We talked about The Righteous possibly heading over to WWE, Backlash predictions, and a bunch of other stuff. And like I said, you can watch episode 265 on all platforms. Also, if you guys have not got a chance to get your hands on some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Links at the top of the description of this very video where you can get this beautiful piece of Notorious Heels merchandise live, like I said, on bonfire.com. Right now, links at the top description of this very video. Also, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at Notorious Heels, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show, and as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. How the hell are you, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just been chilling, man. It was a good weekend. Fun weekend like always. Saw Thunderbolts yesterday. Very good movie. I enjoyed it very much. And I'm doing good, man. It was a good day today, good show, and we're here with you guys, which makes it all the better, man. So overall, so far, it's been a great weekend. Got Mother's Day tomorrow. Excited about that. And everything's been good, man. Everything's been good. Like Durante always asks, how's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How is everybody doing in the live chat? How's everyone doing watching the replay? What about you, bro? How are you doing?
I am doing good, man. I am doing good. Just chilling, dude. Just chilling, to be honest, man. Like you said, seen Thunderbolts yesterday, so that was very good. That was very good. I liked it, and I liked the post-credit scene. I like to kind of see what that sets up. A lot of people, I guess, maybe a little upset about that because it does kind of give away some stuff, I guess, or could possibly give up some stuff. But I thought it was very good. I thought it was very good, leading us into Doomsday and Fantastic Four. So yeah, I thought it was good. Also, I kept forgetting to mention it on the Friday show, so I'm going to mention it now. Also, if you guys have not got a chance to go ahead and watch our pop-up gaming stream, Wednesday, yes, from Wednesday morning, you guys can watch that. It is obviously not on all platforms. It's a gaming stream, so if you guys want to watch some Call of Duty gameplay behind me and Sir K chatting about old video games, we talked a lot about Grand Theft Auto 6, being that we've seen the second trailer for that Tuesday. We talked about a bunch of cool stuff. It was a fun time. So if you guys just want another fun bonus stream to watch, go ahead and check out the gaming stream, man. So yeah, but as Durante always asks, I am good. Family's good. What about you, Durante, Logan, Bell, my man Hunter, and Todd? How are you guys doing? Thank you guys so very much for joining us here today for your Backlash 2025 review, man. How did you guys feel about the show? And yeah, there was there was some interesting stuff on this show for sure. There was definitely some interesting stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah, honestly, dude, there was not like legit. There was
Yeah.
there was actually not a bad match on this
There
card.
wasn't. There really wasn't. They were all at least good. Some were really good. Some were just good. And like you said, there was no bad match. There was no fucking one super sleeper where you're just sitting there like this the whole time waiting for it to end. It was overall just a very fast-paced night, man. This night, the pay-per-view flew by in a good way, man. It really did. We all looked down at our phones at main event time and we're like, damn, it's already like 8 o'clock. Like, goddamn. And that's the type of shit I love, man. I love the WWE. A lot of people hate it because, I mean, it can get annoying sometimes with like the low match cards, but it's so nice when you're actually on pay-per-view day and you watch a show, you're happy, it's over with. Cut to us at Double or Nothing in the review where we're live at 12 at midnight. Uh, so people complain about it, and I do understand the complaints, but I really do love the pay-per-view time length of WWE, man. They're really awesome. But it was really just a fun ass night, man.
It was, yes. Yeah, that is definitely one thing I am not excited for come Double or Nothing, is
12 o'clock.
Yes, we are going to be sitting here. We're going to be sitting here at midnight. We're going to be sitting here at midnight talking about, Lord knows, some random match Tony Khan threw on the show a couple hours before the show actually went on the air. And we will be here talking about it. So, yeah. But, yeah, this show, like I said, very good. Show was very good. And it started off with the, I will say, man, the John Cena stuff at the end was just,
And
I don't, before we really, get into the rest of the show, man, I don't know if anybody else thought that was like ridiculously awkward. Like, I really don't know what the point of that promo was.
I really don't. It was one of those promos where you expect someone to come out right afterwards, and no one did. So I was like, why would you do that? I don't understand, man. I really don't get why they do that. And when we get to the match, I'll talk about it more in detail. But man, they do not know how to book the interferences for these John Cena matches, man. They really don't. But overall, man, very weird way to end it. And they're already like we mentioned, dude, they're already like teasing, him regretting the heel turn and whatnot. It's always those teases that I'm thinking like, damn, this soon after his first title defense. All right, I guess it is gonna end at SummerSlam, man. But yeah, very awkward end match promo. I don't think that was necessary at all.
Definitely. But this show, go ahead and move him over. First match, a part of the show, was this match for the United States Championship. For the United States Championship, we had Jacob Fatu defending against LA Knight, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. And like I said, what was the show opener for this Backlash 2025 show? And this match was very good.
Mm-hmm.
This match was very good, man. This match, it was a great way to open the show. Very similar to last year's Backlash, where we got a match to open the show that ended up ending by way of a debuting interference.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys remember, last year was, yeah. Oh, wow. That feels way longer ago, I guess. Last year was Backlash France. And we seen the debut there of the infamous
GOAT.
The
Mm-hmm.
Tongaloa.
The GOAT.
Man. That does not feel like a year ago. For some reason, that feels longer than a year ago.
It really does. Even though they've been injured sometime during it, it's really feel like all them guys have been here for like a while. It really does not feel like a year or under a year for some of them. It's crazy.
Legit. Jacob Fatu has been here 11 months.
Crazy, man.
He's not even in the year.
No, he's not.
Crazy. So the show started off with just some basic brawling between the four of them, LA Knight and Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre and Fatu. Then it switched a little bit to Fatu and Knight, and Priest and McIntyre. So we get to the latter half of the match where Drew McIntyre is hung up in a tree of woe, and Jacob Fatu is on the top rope, and he goes to jump on LA Knight. Drew then does his spot where he crunches upwards, grabs Fatu by the neck, and throws him down. But Fatu, I guess, sort of counters it into a swanton. He, swantons LA Knight as he's laying there. He swantons LA Knight. The old Mauro Ranallo turning a negative into a positive sort of situation there. So, yes, Fatu gets thrown off the top rope, but uses it to swanton LA Knight rather than just taking a bump. And he gets up. Drew's now out of Tree of Woe position, but he's sitting in the corner, so Fatu hits him with a hip attack in the corner. Hits a tope on Damian Priest, jumps back in the ring to finish off LA Knight, but LA Knight ends up hitting him with a BFT. He goes for the cover, but by this point, Damian Priest is back up and hits a South of Heaven on LA Knight. He turns around into a Claymore, and as Drew falls down, Damian falls on top of LA Knight. Drew would then break it up. He would then hit Future Shocks on LA Knight and Damian Priest. He would hit Future Shock DDTs on both of them. He would then hit a Claymore on LA Knight. And while Priest was on the outside, he pulled out the ref. He pulled out the referee, so obviously they were playing to the story of Damian Priest screws Drew McIntyre yet again.
Yet again.
Yes. So Drew, very pissed, starts brawling with Damian Priest into the crowd. Drew kind of fell like on his neck, damn near, when they fell into the timekeepers area. This man like landed down on the mat head first. So that looked pretty brutal, but yes, these two brawl into the crowd. Man, as LA Knight and Fatu are the lone guys in the ring. LA Knight is hitting some of his traditional offense on Fatu. He hits the standing jumping elbow, and then he does the elbow off the top rope where he goes from the second rope, then jumps to the top rope while Fatu is standing for a near fall. We then go back to McIntyre and Damian Priest, who are in the crowd. They battle on top of some timekeepers production crate, or what am I talking about? Timekeepers on top of some production crates. They battle on top of that, and we go into a spot where Damian Priest does a South of Heaven to Drew McIntyre, and it sends both of them through two tables. How goofy did Damian Priest look in that spot?
Instead of throwing the guy into the danger, you enter the danger with him by grabbing him and jumping with him, doing the same damage you're doing to him to yourself. Why?
His finisher is a choke slam. I know that
you can do those.
I've legit seen like Kane or Big Show do the spot, or Undertaker do the spot where you choke slam somebody and just throw them off of something. But Damian Priest, amateur move by, makes sense. Amateur move by an amateur. But still, man. Yeah, why Damian Priest didn't just do the smarter option and just opt for this one time, do the South of Heaven without going into a sit out just so he can survive, kind of made him look a little stupid.
Yeah.
I can't lie there, but hey, I guess,
They
you know.
booked the spot to have them, distract each other and take each other out the match. So I get they booked it that way, but man, it did not help his case.
Yeah, that made him look a little silly, man. I can't lie. But so this spot raised a lot of concern because apparently Drew McIntyre, there was some injury concern about him because Damian Amateur Priest sent him through the table, but his head completely missed the table. And I guess he must have I guess he must have caused some injury scare there or hit his head pretty hard because when they went out to check on him, you could see they were kind of clutching his neck. And then obviously we heard about the injury scare. So according to Triple H on their press conference, it is he is okay. Apparently he's just banged up, but he is fine, so that's good. And they dodged quite a bullet there because that could have been bad. That could have been very bad. Obviously doing a little CM Punk and Ryback, where Ryback misses the fucking table and sends CM Punk right on the concrete. So
got to the Punk interview. Fuck, that man is hilarious.
Hilarious stuff. So that is true, Logan. Logan says if he didn't do the sit out, it wouldn't have taken him out as well.
Exactly.
That is true.
That is my
true.
point.
That is one positive there. That is one positive there is Damian did take himself out of the equation. Makes him look stupid, but
does.
I guess for us it's not so bad because he took himself out of his own US title opportunity. So that was good. So LA Knight, after this spot, LA Knight is in the ring with Jacob Fatu, and LA Knight is standing on the apron, and Fatu is on the announce table. Now, he goes for his elbow drop onto the announce table, and Solo pulls him off of the announce table. And LA's obviously pissed. He walks up to Solo, and you could hear him say, "You've got to be kidding me." Solo backs up, and he's kind of standing by the barricade. And LA Knight is walking towards the barricade as well. And we get to this point where he's right at the curve by the timekeeper's area, and we just seen him get blasted with a lariat as the camera pans over, and it is none other than Jeff Cobb.
Hell yeah.
It is Jeff Cobb as he is standing there with, his hair's wet and he's looking menacing. As like I said, he just blasted LA Knight with a clothesline. And we get a shot of Jeff Cobb, and I love Jeff Cobb, and I think he's going to do great, but man, he got a very lackluster reaction.
Yeah.
He got a very lackluster reaction. Like I said, there was not, there wasn't really like there was, you could hear some oohs and ahs quietly, but the reaction was very, just
tame.
Very, very, very. So he came around the timekeeper's area and just started beating the shit out of LA Knight. He cross-bodied him, almost hit like a divide while LA was standing up against the ring post. He's standing there. Solo's standing there, and as they're beating him up, Jacob gets to his feet, and they throw LA in the ring, and Jacob gets to his feet, and this was the most interesting part about it for me, was the way Fatu was looking at Solo.
Ugh.
And you can clearly tell
He wasn't keyed in.
he had no idea this was going to happen. Because if you guys watched SmackDown last night, don't blame me if you didn't, but if you did, there's a promo back there in the back with Fatu and Solo. And Fatu is just, he's looking at Solo, and Solo's telling him, what are we going to do? What's the plan? And Fatu's plan was that he was just going to dog walk all of them. And you could tell Fatu was just, betting on his abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob. Solo thought otherwise. He thought they needed help. He thought they needed a plan to get out of this fatal 4-way match. And his plan ended up being Jeff Cobb. And you could clearly tell Jacob had no idea about any of this.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get to Friday, I am very interested to see how that whole thing is going to work. And I think why they, would have added Jeff Cobb to something like this is because if you put Jacob up against Solo,
people are...
that's very one-sided. I mean, when you talk about being dog walked, I feel like we all would know that Fatu would dog walk Solo Sikoa. And obviously with the two Tongan brothers being out, you're gonna need somebody to stack the odds against Jacob Fatu for that eventual feud. So what they're gonna do is probably end up having a whole entire bloodline go up against Jacob Fatu.
Damn near.
I don't know how that will end, if Jacob will end up taking all of them out. Maybe Jacob gets help from some OG members of the bloodline that are obviously very beloved like Fatu is. I don't know how that whole story will go, but it's the bloodline story, and you never know what can really happen in it. But yeah, so that was my thinking towards this. Is obviously they implemented Jeff Cobb into this for the eventual Solo and Jacob stuff to end up stacking the odds up against Solo. Or up against Jacob, and put them in Solo's favor, being that now he has this beast of a man, Jeff Cobb, with him. And I would have liked, see, I understand, we can't get the whole cake in one night, but I would have loved to seen a tour of the islands tonight. That would have been pretty cool. But Jeff Cobb is in WWE. I am very excited to see what Jeff Cobb can do, and I'm excited he's finally here, man. And I like his I like his involvement here, and how he's going to be involved, or at least how I'm thinking they're going to involve him in this whole bloodline story. So yeah, this is great, man. I love the move. Like I said, you could clearly tell a lot of the people there didn't really know who he was. Some people did, but a lot of people didn't. But yet again, Solo comes to the rescue and gets another one of his homies a job. This man's goated.
That man really is. Solo is the ultimate homie. My man got Jacob a job. He got the Tongaloa a job, Tonga, and now Jeff Cobb. You might as well call him Shawn Michaels. Have him start scouting, man, because goddamn, he's getting everybody jobs, man. But I love it.
Talk about a tour of the islands. I think Solo's been going on tour of the islands to find himself more Hawaiians and Samoans.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, it's very dope. I'm glad Jeff Cobb is here. He's called Jeff Cobb. Very good to see that. He's not fucking Caesar Cobb or some bullshit. And I'm happy, dude. I'm really happy he's here. He looks great. And I'm very curious to see how they would have debuted him if the Tongans weren't injured, because I feel like he wouldn't have been involved in this when they were bringing him into the company if those two weren't injured. But they are, and who better to come in and help in that situation? It's perfect timing. It really is. And it really does help that it's a guy like Jeff Cobb helping Solo what will be against Jacob Fatu. That's gonna be fire, dude. And I can't wait, dude. I can't wait to see how he is. Can't wait to see how they present him. And I love what they did here, man. It was a good match and a very cool and just a cool. We don't get, I always complain about, Triple H got to wait 2 years for this, a year and a half for this, but there was news rumblings about Jeff Cobb coming in, and on pay-per-view, boom, just in a moment, he debuts. Cool to see. Glad we got something like that, and I'm very intrigued to see, SmackDown. Of course, SmackDown is still basically the Jacob Fatu and Circle show, so that circle has expanded, and I can't wait to see how this evolves on Friday.
Definitely. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see, how they would have debuted him, or if they even would have debuted him in this bloodline circle, had the Tongans not been injured. I could have very well seen, maybe they ran an injury angle,
Yeah,
maybe
maybe.
like LA Damien, between LA Damien and Drew, maybe they take out the Tongans and injure them, and then they run out of Solo, obviously panics and calls Jeff Cobb. Or if he would have been on Raw doing a completely separate thing, it's interesting to think about what could have been these certain possibilities if they weren't going to involve him in the bloodline stuff. But I do think I do think overall it is somewhere where he does fit.
I think he does.
I think overall it's somewhere where he does fit, and it's a nice addition to like Solo's multiverse of the bloodline.
He really has his own pocket and fucking universe of the bloodline, dude. It's great.
Yeah, he really does. He's got like, obviously there's like the main bloodline story, that and their universe kind of mixed with Solo's universe, towards the end of last year. But ever since the beginning of this year, really after Tribal Combat, it's like both universes have kind of
Split off.
teetered off into their own thing again. So Solo gets another member to his universe. So yeah. But yeah, man, like I said, excited for Jeff Cobb, and I'm excited to see how they use him, and just from the look that Jacob was eyeing him.
He was eyeing him hard.
So it's interesting to me what that dynamic is going to be too, because how's Jacob going to feel about it, which obviously I feel we've already got a glimpse of tonight by just the way he was looking at him. But like how is he gonna, how he already got mad at Solo before for not tapping in with him when Solo just disappeared back in the back earlier in the year. So how's he gonna feel about this? About him adding another member and getting involved in his business, which we already know he doesn't like anyway, because he always gets pissed at Solo whenever he's getting involved, because 9 times out of 10 Solo's losing them matches, or he's getting them disqualified, or and Jacob's always getting pissed off about that. So it's very interesting to see. It's very interesting to see how they're going to go about all this. But Jeff fucking Cobb is here, man, and that is pretty damn cool. And I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what they could do, and I'm excited for him to showcase himself, man, because I've known about him for a while. We've seen him on AEW a couple times, but I've known about Jeff Cobb probably 2018.
Yeah, about 2018
is when I found out about him. So it's been about 8 years. Oh, good Lord. 7 years.
Fuck.
Oh,
crazy.
God. Yikes. Damn, that was 7 years ago. Interesting. Well, yeah, so it's been about 7 years, and he's obviously great, and I'm excited to see what he can do, man. So
most definitely.
I will say, this was a hell of a lot better than him going the other route.
Ugh.
Because if he would have went to AEW, he probably would have been one of Max Caster's open challenge guys, or he would be in the Don Callis family right now.
He would 100% be in the Don Callis family, without a doubt, dude. Yep. Oh, God, he dodged a bullet.
Either that, or Jericho would have wanted to pull him into the vortex, because when Jeff Cobb debuted on AEW Dynamite, he came in as Chris Jericho's paid mercenary.
Paid mercenary. He did. So, good Lord. He dodged a fucking bullet.
Yes. Whatever Jericho comes back as, because hopefully the Learning Tree gig is done, whatever he comes back as, Jeff Cobb would have been involved with that.
Definitely.
So I'm glad he's in WWE, and I'm glad he can, what I know is going to be just a great story between Solo and Jacob, which now has him involved. So, yeah, excited for that, man. So,
very.
Yeah. So as he's in the ring, Jacob, eyes him down. Obviously not happy about this. He gets in the ring, hits his moonsault on LA Knight, and pins LA Knight for the 1-2-3. For the 1-2-3 to retain the United States Championship. As he grabs the title, Jeff Cobb and Solo Sikoa are standing in the entranceway, and he walks right between both of them with his U.S. Championship and walks away by himself. He does not even walk out with the both of them, as they just stood there and watched him. So, man, I am excited to see how this whole thing plays out. And one thing I'm very excited for now in all of this, whenever they do end up coming back, is GOD, the Tongans. Where is their allegiance going to lie with all of this?
Very curious. Dude, they might feel disrespected that Solo just grabbed another guy just to essentially replace them in that moment. Maybe, man. Maybe they'll go off and do their own thing as just a tag team, which I would be very okay with, man. I just hope they would get an official identity. And I hope it happens anyway, they come back, but instead of just the Tongans, please get, if you can't, you might not be able to give them GOD or something, but just an identity is something I hope they get when they come back, man, because I'm tired of just the Tongans. So I hope that I'm very curious to see where their allegiance is going to lie, and I just hope they get an identity finally in WWE.
Definitely. Maybe Solo Sikoa gets the help of not only Jeff Cobb, but Hikuleo.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time they turn on Jacob Fatu, Jacob will have the Tongans to help him.
Maybe. Yeah.
That would be something. That would be something. Or they could go a different route. Like I said, where if you did want to dabble back into the OG bloodline stuff, obviously this time minus Paul Heyman, you could have the Tongans join back with Solo, Hikuleo, and Jeff Cobb.
Fuck.
And then get the OG bloodline to help out Jacob. There's obviously, like, again, with the bloodline, there's it's like a Marvel fucking universe, dude. You could really literally go
any direction with any amount of people.
You could go 700 different routes with this, but glad to see Jeff Cobb, and I'm glad he is Jeff Cobb. I was waiting for something stupid like, oh my god, that's Jeffrey Reigns. Or oh my god, that's Jeffrey Fatu, or Jeffrey Sikoa, or Talatanga, or
it's Daniel Cobb or some shit. Like, I'm so glad they didn't give him no stupid ass WWE name. I'm glad he's just Jeff Cobb, and it's that simple, man. Very happy.
It's Samuel Sikoa.
Samuel Sikoa. Caesar Cobb. They're really gonna name that man Jacob Caesar. That is the biggest bullet dodge I've ever seen, actually. But very glad he's here. Glad he's Jeff Cobb, and I'm glad he's in this circle, man. Because I'm very curious to see how this goes.
For sure. bad.
This man. Yeah. No, but very, very exciting debut, and I'm glad they just pulled the trigger and went with the debut. Knowing Triple H, he could have teased this for weeks, and we're like, oh, it's going to happen then. And it happens like a month after you think it's going to happen. I'm glad they just pulled the trigger tonight, dude. I'm very happy.
Definitely. But yes, back to what you were saying. Yes, that quite literally is probably one of the biggest bullet dodges you could possibly ever hear of. Looking at Jacob Fatu and just thinking that they were going to call him Caesar Sikoa. Like, we would have been 11 months into knowing this man that you see at the bottom of your screen as Caesar.
Caesar. Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, God. Yeah, that is diabolical work right there. That's man,
that's evil.
That's something, dude. But yes. Yeah, like I said, again, glad to have Jeff Cobb here, but most importantly, glad he is Jeff Cobb. So, yeah. That is that. That was everything. Banger fatal 4-way match. I really liked it. I thought it was a great way. LA Knight did taking the I seen LA or Damian Priest. I figured Jeff Cobb was going to at least attack one of them. Obviously, those are the two baby faces in the match. I felt Jeff Cobb would attack one of them. I was really hoping it was Damian Priest so he could kind of just like bury him on the way in. But it ended up being LA Knight. So poor LA Knight. Good things come to those who wait. He's probably going to get fucked again, and he's end up going to winning a world championship in 2035. And then, hey, good things will have came to those who have waited.
Exactly.
In that case. So again, I was really hoping it was Damian Priest, just so he could kind of get fucking packed up as Jeff Cobb walks in the door. I thought that would have been a great start to just take the fucking trash out as soon as you get in. But I guess Jeff Cobb is gonna have to wait to get his hands on Damian Priest. But LA Knight, he can't fucking escape the bloodline multiverse. He's like Doctor Strange. He's like constantly stuck in multiple universes.
He's stuck with the bullshit, man. But I wasn't too surprised by LA Knight taking the pin. I mean, he has been in the bloodline vortex or in the bloodline tsunami really for fucking months now, and I'm sure this is like a continuation of that, where he's probably tired of being in this vortex, and I can see when the draft comes, him moving to Raw to get out of that bloodline vortex.
See, I've been saying this for years. I would love the bloodline to move to Raw, but obviously with Rollins' group,
you can't really
do that. So the only other option here, and it's a good option at this point, bro. Get LA Knight the fuck out.
I think it makes sense.
Because see, and the reason I would like to keep LA on SmackDown is because he's kind of become a SmackDown guy.
He is. I would say overall, he's just naturally a SmackDown guy.
But
that world title scene is too clogged on SmackDown for him to get a chance.
Yes.
So I think he has to move to Raw to get a chance to be in that world title scene.
Yeah.
Because he would slot in perfectly over there. I think he would. You move some other people around, and I think he would slot in perfectly over there.
100%. You obviously have the IC title he could go for that he's never fought for, I don't think. And then you have the World Heavyweight Championship. That would be great for a guy like LA Knight. So obviously, if Rollins does get his hands on that belt, you can have LA challenge for it. You could have LA versus Dominic, I think would be quite entertaining.
Oh, yeah, people would love that.
But overall, man, again, I would like for him to stay on SmackDown just because he just, to me, just gives SmackDown guy kind of energy. But at this point, man, it is just not worth staying on SmackDown if he's just going to continue to be in the bloodline vortex that he has yet to escape since, good Lord, when was the first time he fought Roman Reigns? What was that?
2022?
Oh, wait, no, because he was fighting the bloodline before, what was that, after SummerSlam 2023? Because I remember he teamed with Cena against Jimmy and Solo.
He did.
For a little bit of that. So that was like, what, October or September of 23?
Damn near 2 years. That man has been in the fucking bloodline fucking vortex.
Fuck. I mean, that is
Lord.
that's fucking something, man. I tell you that, but
at this point he might as well join KO, bruh. Cause fuck. Shit, man. But Raw definitely is gonna need more baby faces, and LA Net is so perfect to go over there and just be good. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, even if he does go, it ends up being a guy to go up against the Seth Rollins group, you know, that's kind of just switching from chocolate to vanilla. It's still fucking ice cream. So I guess that kind of scares me, but I mean, it just may present
He
other fresh opportunities if he's not feuding with them, which, like I mentioned, like with Dominic.
exactly there's a lot you could do over there.
So yeah, man.
You could feud with the Judgment Day.
You're fucking making me want him to stay on fucking Bloodline Vortex now.
Hope the fucking have that group doesn't exist by then.
Oh, they will.
Mm-hmm. Finn's gonna leave, and then they're gonna spend the next 2 years teasing another member to leave.
Yeah. Who would be next after Finn? Dominic?
Dominic, probably.
Even though at this point Dominic's so over,
Damn near the leader.
I wouldn't be shocked if Dom was the one to get kicked out, so he could go on his babyface run while Finn Balor ends up
Being the asshole again for no reason, even though he's the fucking victim. Still, of 2 years straight. Fucking Judgment Day.
So, the next match. For the Women's Intercontinental Championship, Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria.
Very good. We could have got this at Mania. We should have.
This would have been a fucking WrestleMania match.
And it would have been one of the best matches on the show, too. That's the fucking worst part. They saved it for no reason, man. This build is what Mania needed, and this match is what Mania, especially night one, fucking needed, man.
I was gonna say their tag match on night 2 was good, but what this would have really played to for WrestleMania was the build. The WrestleMania build needed something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And Lyra and Becky had what was a pretty good build where you could really see how hard Becky good lord Becky you could really see how hard Becky was working to get Lyra over in this feud or in the build up to this feud. And a lot of people would have been upset if Becky won this, but I really wouldn't have, because we've kind of seen Becky do this whole thing before where she wins something, everybody calls her selfish and all this, everybody hates Becky Lynch, but then she ends up putting the person over on what ultimately would have ended up being a bigger stage. And I fully expected that here with Lyra Valkyria. I thought for sure that Becky was going to win this match and drop it back to Lyra at Evolution. Now, if Evolution is in July, then there is a whole nother 2 months before that show, so I could see Becky winning this thing at Money in the Bank, or Saturday night's main event, or wherever they wanted to do it. But I could still see that happening. But Lyra holds on to the championship for now, and if the end game is for this to end at Evolution, then I mean, I would say this was a good move to just end up giving it to Becky, to where she only holds the title for a month as opposed to 2 months. But yeah, man, I mean, this match was great, man. This match was actually really good. I like this match a lot. And I'm glad this match actually made the pay-per-view card, man, because these two killed it for sure. And Lyra, yet again, shows why she should be taken seriously as one of the
future stars.
Yes, future stars of the women's division for sure.
Most definitely, man. Really good match, and like you said, it just goes to show they should really showcase Lyra more. I mean, she's good on the mic. She has a cool look. She's great in the ring. She really has it all that you're looking for. And during this whole Becky stuff, she's done nothing to prove that. She's fucking great, man. Becky's always good. I love Becky. So overall, I think tonight was a success with these two, and a little shocked that Becky didn't win. I wouldn't have been mad. I kind of saw it coming. That's why I'm kind of shocked she didn't win. I would have been fine with it. I'm fine with it now. I feel like at Evolution they might be setting up a triple threat with Bailey involved in this, and maybe that's how Becky gets the title. If she doesn't pin Lyra, maybe she pins Bailey, something like that, man. But overall, I think some beef between these two is gonna continue, and depending on when Bailey gets back, I think she's gonna be a part of this mix. And overall, I'm excited, man. I really like tonight. One little gripe, I think at times in this match they made the ref look kind of dumb. At one point when they took the turnbuckle off, the ref finally noticed it, and she goes in with the turnbuckle, looks at Lyra setting up Nightwing, and then just turns around and tries to put the turnbuckle back on. That kind of made the ref look stupid for no reason. But other than that, great match. The women did great. And I'm excited to see where it goes next, man. They've been one of the best parts about Raw. So hope we get to see more of them still.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I do feel I do feel we will. I think this is going to be one of the top
Feuds.
matches going into Evolution because God,
What else is happening at that show? I could see something with
I could see like Rhea and Io,
I could see that.
and I could see like Liv and Raquel going up against Roxanne and
Julia.
Yeah.
I could see like Jade and Naomi again or something.
Or Jade, Naomi, and Bianca.
I could see something like that. Yeah, I think that's a lot of what we're going to be getting going into that show. And I'm sure we're probably going to get Stephanie Becker versus somebody from NXT in there. And I'm actually very intrigued to see how they do this. I just hope they fucking announce it at this point. You announced the next Saudi show. You didn't announce this, man. I don't get the WWE process with this. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't really understand it either. But yeah, I mean, it's just like what are you waiting for? You announced a Night of Champions show for June 28th. You don't think it would be smart to announce a show that's going to happen probably a week after that Night of Champions show? So, I mean, like, when do you plan to put tickets on sale? We're less than 2 months away from the show at this point.
Half the time they put tickets up a month before the show, and that's a horrible system. I'm sorry. But that's how they do it nowadays, dude. That's TKO for you.
Like, good God. Oh. So, Becky Lynch and Lyra started the match off just kind of doing just your traditional opening sort of offense or whatever. Becky had Lyra on the outside and was beating her up right in front of her fiance. Her fiance, he didn't have much to say. He was kind of talking in a very monotone voice to Becky Lynch, as if she was sitting at a dinner table with him, rather than reacting to his girlfriend getting her ass whooped right in front of him. Did you see that, dude? He's sitting there, and he's like just kind of like just like talking to her like normal. I was like, damn, no animation at all.
None. Like, so that's interesting. Apparently he's like a New Japan guy or something. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, very cool angle. I always love, there's like it's always that same seat too, where people's spouses are there and whatnot. I think that's exactly where like Drew's wife sat for that one match and shit. But always love those type of spots.
For sure. So Lyra, Becky throws Lyra back in the ring. She starts to pick back up a little bit of offense and hits a running brainbuster on Becky Lynch, which is a pretty sick move. She then hit a brainbuster off the top rope to Becky Lynch for a near fall. As the match went on, Becky Lynch was trying to roll up Lyra Valkyria while holding the rope. She would get caught holding the rope. And as she was arguing with the ref, Lyra picked up a little bit more offense, hitting a a dive over the top rope onto the outside onto Becky Lynch. She then hit the her diving leg drop move. I can't remember the name of it, but her diving leg drop move off the top. She then doesn't cover Becky, goes to jump off the top rope, but then she goes back to cover Becky. Kind of looked a little awkward there. I don't know if she forgot, that she was supposed to cover her at that point. But then she walked back towards the corner for a backflip off the second rope, which Becky got her knees up for. She would then go for the disarmer, and Lyra would counter this into a cross arm breaker of her own on Becky Lynch. Becky would get out of it, and as they got up, Becky went for the manhandle slam, which would then be countered with an arm drag by Valkyria. Becky would then end up hitting a manhandle slam for a near fall. And as the referee was distracted with Lyra, Becky would go and take off the turnbuckle pad. She wasn't distracted with Lyra. Sorry, Becky. I forgot to mention, Becky went to bring in a chair. She slid a chair in the ring, so the ref was distracted trying to get the chair out of the ring, and she took the turnbuckle pad off. Throws Lyra at the turnbuckle. Lyra hits the turnbuckle under that one. So Becky took off the top turnbuckle. Lyra's head hit the bottom one. And then she turned around into a manhandle slam. I thought that Lyra tripped and accidentally hit the second one when she was supposed to hit the top one. But I guess that wasn't the case, because after she hits the unexposed second turnbuckle, she turns around into a manhandle slam for a near fall.
I think they did that to try to showcase how Lyra's smart enough to dodge bullshit like that. I think that's why.
Okay.
I think that's why they had that spot, because there was kind of a couple in that match where Becky tried to set up some fuckery, but Lyra just kind of didn't go in the direction she thought she was gonna go, and I think they did that to show she's smart enough to try to dodge all these things, which I really like. I think is a really cool thing.
For sure. So Lyra was setting up Nightwing, and as the referee is watching Lyra set up her finisher, she figures it would be best to turn around and try fixing the turnbuckle pad. And she turned around just a second too late, because Becky would kick out of this for a near fall, because the ref took a half a second too long to go over there and count the pin. Becky pokes, because Lyra went to set up Nightwing again. Becky jumps out of it, pokes Lyra in the eyes, rolls her up. Lyra would then reverse the roll up with a roll up of her own to beat Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
With the roll up victory for the 1-2-3, and Becky wasted no time. But to attack Valkyria and put her in a disarmer, as Adam Pearce and a bunch of officials came running out there to save the day, I guess, for Lyra Valkyria. As Becky Lynch walked away with Jason Jordan, Becky Lynch walked away pretty pissed off, as Lyra stood in the ring pretty beaten, but still holding the IC championship. So Michael Cole mentioned that Lyra may have a broken nose. I don't know. I will have to look into that. I did hear there may have been an injury scare regarding her.
There was, and it could just been Michael Cole just talking shop, hyping brutal matches up, but her nose did look pretty red and maybe a little crooked, so maybe she did break her nose or something. But either or, great ass match, good ending, and excited to see where these two go next, man. I think Bayley's gonna get involved soon enough.
I think so too. So yeah, Yeah, so that was this, man. This was very, very good, man. I loved the way this match turned out. I thought everything turned out fantastic. As yeah, like I said, this was definitely something that WrestleMania was missing. This was definitely something that WrestleMania was missing for sure, and it could have used a build of this caliber, and it could have used a match of this caliber. So, yeah, I thought this was great nonetheless, and I thought both women did an outstanding job. As Becky Lynch, I feel, is doing a phenomenal job bringing Lyra out of her shell.
She is. She's making her look very good and very much helping her bring her out of her shell. She's doing a great job.
Yes, this is just now up to WWE
to capitalize
after the Becky feud, because I really hope this doesn't end up like a Mariah May Tony Storm situation where we like you, but we only like you if Tony's around.
Yeah.
I really hope it's not a we like you, but we like you when Becky's around.
Most definitely.
So yeah, it's a great match, and yeah, well, yet again, proving why Lyra should be showcased a lot more than she actually is. For the next match, we got Penta versus Dominic Mysterio.
Fire.
Yes, this match was very good. The shortest match on the card, clocking in at just 9 minutes. But enjoyable nonetheless, and they did everything. I would honestly, if you could probably say there was a weakest match on the card, it would probably be this one, but that's not obviously
not a bad thing.
It's I'm not saying the match was bad, just out of the matches we did get on the show, this one you could probably classify this one as the weakest on the card.
I think it is, and I think if it wouldn't have been if maybe gave him a little more time and less interference. At the end of the day, it's a Judgment Day related match. That's usually all you get when there's a Judgment Day related match. And what I said in the predictions to this match is exactly what happened to a T, man. So you gotta love Triple H and his Judgment Day booking. But overall, it was really fun. Pretty short, obviously, shortest match on the card. But Dom's great, Penta's phenomenal, and that man Penta, when he wears blue, dude, that man just fits any type of blue attire, man. It was a Rumble, he had the other blue attire. Man looks fire in those blue attires, always.
I honestly think my favorite color for him is red. Probably that like traditional attire that he wears like on Raw.
Okay.
I remember in AEW he used to wear a lot of black and white. I thought that looked okay, but I think for me, I like the black, red, and white on him the most, but the blue is tough for sure.
Looks really good. I hope eventually he does like a mostly white attire. I think that'll look really flames.
Wow, I never even thought of that.
That'll go crazy, man. But I love those blue attires, man. Yeah. And I love how he's one of those guys where you look forward to the attire, like a Seth Rollins. You don't get a lot of those nowadays. I'm glad we have another one.
Have we? I feel like we've seen him do a mostly red attire.
I think was that Mania where it was like just like basically a red attire. I think it was Mania.
Was it?
I think in Mania he had like a main color of red attire. I think he did, man. I'm very curious. Maybe he does like a green one at Money in the Bank, or like a mostly gold one at Money in the Bank if he's on the show. Which I could see them putting him in that ladder match. So that would be really cool.
It was on an episode of Raw. I don't know what episode of Raw.
Yeah, where it was basically that mostly red attire.
Yeah, it might have been his match versus JD.
It probably was. I think it was.
Yeah, but Mania, what did he wear at Mania?
I thought it was, I think it had red in it. I think it was like black and red mostly.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let me see. Oh, he wore green at Mania.
He did?
Green and gold.
Oh my god, I forgot he did. Good lord.
Huh, I thought he wore like black and red at Mania.
I thought he did too. Goddamn.
I guess he kind of had red on his jacket.
Yeah, it was red on. It was like I think it was just like the Mexican flag colors basically. That's what it at least gives the vibe to me, man. But Yeah, overall really good match. Little under the time, and I think it's just Judgment Day stuff. I'm kind of tired. I really like Dom, and I'm glad he's IC champ, and I'm glad he's getting showcased in the ring more. But I feel like low key at
But
this point to me, Judgment Day is just baggage. If I'm being
I was
honest,
gonna say it's like they can't showcase him because like
it's just
it's
Judgment.
baggage.
It
It's like
is
with a Judgment Day match comes
Judgment Day fuckery.
interferences,
Mm,
and
and
it's just
And with Judgment Day interferences, it's half of one guy's kind of disgruntled, but he's helping, but he's secretly purposely fucking up for him. Then they help him. It's the same. It's been the same thing for like a year and a half for the Judgment Day. I'm sick of the group, dude. I think damn near everyone in the group is going to be better off on their own without the Judgment Day, dude. I think the Judgment Day is baggage at this point.
the group
It lived its course.
the group peaked in like that early Triple H era
Mm-hmm.
with like molding Dominic, and then like with when Priest actually maybe had a little bit of upside to his name, and then with Finn Balor being like the main guy in the group, and 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 obviously Rhea Ripley, that played a huge proponent to Rhea Ripley becoming a star as Dominic.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, when you talk about Finn Balor, dude, in the beginning of the group, it looked like he was going to be
He
the
was the
man,
star,
but then
yeah.
it's like it's played to his downfall.
It really has, and at this point, they're kind of baggage for everybody involved, man. I think you could still probably keep Liv and Dom around each other if you want to continue like that, on-screen connection. But other than that, for the most part, I think almost everyone's gonna be better off with the Judgment Day ending, man. I think it really is baggage for damn near everybody at this point. JD would be the one I would worry about most. Yeah, I mean technically probably Carlito, but I really care about JD. So I would be scared that JD gets lackluster booking without the Judgment Day, but maybe you keep him close to Finn and you could do something with that, man. But overall, I think the Judgment Day is kind of baggage for everybody involved, and I think it's halting a lot of the showcase you could show with Dom in the IC title.
Yeah, because in the beginning half of the match,
He was
you
moving.
see him work, and it's like
It's good.
it's very good. Like, and so it makes me think like I would really like to see like the end of his matches, or like
Yeah.
how his matches play out without, because you can't get too far into a Dominic match without, oh, here comes one of the members of the Judgment Day. So like in the beginning half of the match, he looks great. I would like to see how he looks in the closeout.
And they always, obviously there's the massive, Eddie Guerrero comparison. Eddie Guerrero was a dirty cheater in the ring. He always would end his matches, in a dirty way. And I feel like without the Judgment Day, I would love to see what Dom can do by ending the match in like a heel, despicable way without the Judgment Day. And I think that would make him look all the more better.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, and I think it would. I think that would be a cool opportunity to for them to even more draw the comparison to Eddie Guerrero and have him use some of Eddie's tactics, but then kind of also do some cool stuff of his own. But then again, like I said, you really can't get too far into any of his matches without being like, oh, here they come.
Judgment Day, there
Yeah,
it goes.
here comes the rest of the fucking group.
It's like that fucking. That's like that era of the Bloodline where it was literally just Roman, getting his ass whooped, and the Usos coming out and he win the match. It's Judgment Day's kind of hitting that point where it's just like, okay, I get it. Can I just see this guy wrestle?
Yeah, it was. Romans whooping their ass. Oh, here comes the babyface opponent. Oh my God, he's gonna beat Roman. Oh, but wait, here
Usos.
comes the Usos. It's like
That's what the Judgment Day is at this point, man.
yeah. So I would really like to see again how Dominic can close out a match for once without actual interferences, but he hits an Oblivion
That was fun.
on Penta. So the commentators were playing up to how he misses his girlfriend, Liv Morgan. Dominic then gets hit with a Mexican destroyer on the apron. And as both men are on the outside after the Mexican destroyer, we have Carlito coming down the ramp, but JD and Finn are ringside and they have Penta. JD's got him hoisted up. As Finn, he's got his fist balled up and he's got a clear shot at Pentagon. And he can hit him. But he says, wait a minute, let me grab a chair. By the time he comes back with the chair, the ref is just staring right at him. The ref's staring right at him, and the ref calls for JD, Finn, and Carlito to get out of here. So as they are walking up the ramp, Finn, I guess, took off. I guess he just left. You know, which is an interesting detail, because while Carlito and JD were trying to plead their case for why they shouldn't be kicked out, Finn had already walked halfway up the ramp.
He's ready.
This dude just did not give a shit to help Dominic retain the championship. Penta comes flying over the top with a dive. So Finn walks back down to the ring and he's distracting. He's distracting the referee as Penta is climbing to the top. We see El Grande Americano jump up and headbutt Pentagon. Penta falls in the middle of the ring, and Dominic hits him with a frog splash to retain the Intercontinental Championship. So, quite literally exactly how Sir K predicted this yesterday. Yeah, so quite literally exactly how he predicted this, and I'm sure on Monday we're gonna hear again how Pentagon is
he's outnumbered, man.
Yes,
he's enemies with and we're gonna hear from Finn how, man, I tried to help you. I tried to get the chair to make it even better, so you win. And then there's gonna be tension there. Just end this shit already, dude. It's really dragging, man, and I think the Judgment Day is just really dragging on. I think you're beating a dead horse with this, man. They're gonna beat it till SummerSlam, and then maybe that's hopefully when they toss it in the incinerator, man. I can only hope. But
it's not what they're telling us on TikTok, man. They're telling us to let it play out.
It's been playing out for 2 fucking years, man. I'm sick of it playing out.
It's been playing out since Damian Priest was actually doing good stuff.
That's how long it's been, man.
When he was like semi-interesting and like actually looked like maybe this guy could be something one day. That's how long it's been.
Demon.
It's been a long time.
Been a very long time, but I just can't wait for this shit to end, man. And I can't wait to see how this group looks. You know, how all these guys look when they're on their own, man. I think they're going to do a lot better. So excited for that. I know exactly what we're going to get on Monday, we just said. But overall, man, good match. I would say it's the weakest, but I think that's just because of Judgment Day baggage, man. And I hope just come SummerSlam we could finally end this group.
Oh, don't worry, I'll carry on, and then Dominic will be the next guy that'll be teased for 1.5 years to be kicked out of the group.
1,000%, man. Good Lord.
God. So, yeah, that was that, and now we have an official word from our sponsor here at NHP. We got W Energy, man. They are an energy drink loaded with vitamins and nootropics, formulated to improve focus without getting the jitters. W is a clean formula, sugar-free, 0-calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings, with 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You can get your W products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10% on your next W purchase.
Truly, always got to shout out W, man. Whether it's workout, whatever you need the energy for. Probably didn't need it tonight. The show went pretty fast tonight, but come Double or Nothing, I think you guys are going to want to try some W. We'll be up at the review midnight, and if you guys want to stay up with us, try W, man. You won't have any jitters, and it'll taste good all at the same time, man. So truly, always got to shout out and thank W.
Yeah, you guys might want to buy that shit now so it gets to you buy Double or
I'm
Nothing.
telling you, because gonna be fucking like 12:20 is when the fucking review's probably gonna have to start. Because you know AEW, man.
Yep, we will be talking about the opening match at 12:30 at night.
Fucking A, dude.
So as always, shout out to the official sponsor of the Notorious Heels, W. Thank you as always. So next is not a match. Next is the part of the show where WWE announced Night of Champions for June 28th. For June 28th, the same month as Money in the Bank. About 3 weeks after Money in the Bank, we will be getting we will be getting another pay-per-view. So
fuck.
Same month, man, and that is probably, at least if Evolution is planned for the beginning of July, it'll probably be a week after that too. So
God damn. Night of Champions Saudi show. I mean, hey, it's nothing I didn't expect. It's gonna be simple, 5-match show. Probably gonna get, usually the Saudi shows where we get, the more corporate-esque matches. So who knows what we're gonna get there, man. But either way, get Night of Champions, man.
Definitely. And we got Monday Night Raw matches announced. We got CM Punk live announced. We got AJ Styles versus Finn Balor.
Okay.
Announced for Monday Night Raw. And we have...
No.
Lord help me, somebody. We have a number 1 contender match for the Raw Tag Team Championships between the Creed Brothers and the War Raiders.
Didn't the exact match already happen?
Dude, we're watching this shit, and I said, didn't the War Raiders just fight JD and Finn to see who was gonna get the next tag title match? And the War Raiders won that?
I don't know, dude. They have 3 tag teams in that fucking division. Why they brought Praxium to SmackDown is fucking beyond me. I don't know, man.
So, yeah. So, the second to last match on the show.
God damn.
When this first happened, I said, man, they're putting Pat McAfee in the ring with Gunther. This is a pay-per-view spot. Boy, do I love to be wrong. Because this shit fed the fucking streets.
It did, dude. Man, Gunther has had a better match with not only The Miz, but with Pat McAfee than he did with Jey Uso. This match fucking clears that god-awful Jey Uso match.
Gunther had a better match with Akira Tozawa than he had with fucking Jey Uso.
Oh, man, dude. This match was fun. It was hilarious. And Gunther looked like a goddamn beast, dude.
There were people trying to defend that take, because I've seen a lot of people saying Pat and Gunther was better than Jay and Gunther, which is true.
Very true.
And a lot of people were trying to say that it wasn't. I really
what did you
asked
watch?
what you were watching. The WrestleMania match was mid as fuck. That is not anything out of the norm that we have seen from Jay and Gunther. It was not that good. It was not that fucking good, man. Jay and Gunther at WrestleMania. I
thought it was ass.
That was hardly any fucking different than we've seen them do all the other times, and their matches weren't impressive all the other times.
It really wasn't, dude. And this shit cleared that shit, dude. This shit was great. There was, obviously at the end of the day, Gunther should have, completely destroyed Pat. But the fact that he didn't made this shit all the better, dude, because Pat tried. He tried, man, and he kept trying after whoop after whoop after whoop, dude. It was great.
That's the thing, though. I felt in a lot of ways this match was a squash.
Oh, it was.
But it was, like, you know, obviously a lot of people say, like, oh, this should have been 2 minutes. But, like, I love how Gunther just wanted to toy with the man.
He could, like, commentary kept saying it. He could end it at any point. He just didn't want to yet because he was enjoying himself, beating the life out of the man. And he enjoys when he's beating someone and they keep trying to beat him. And he knows they can't.
Yeah.
So he just toys with them. He loves playing with his food, man. And I think it's the coolest thing ever.
Dude. So the match starts off with some chops to Pat McAfee, which were pretty brutal. Pat McAfee, as Gunther has him in a wrist lock, Pat McAfee starts rolling around doing kip-ups. And this actually made me remember...
It wasn't bad.
How actually, like, not bad Pat McAfee is.
Yeah, he's really not.
So Pat is trying to I guess fight his way out of Gunther. Gunther gets him on the apron. And Pat starts punching him. He starts powering out of Gunther's attacks. And he starts punching the man. He goes to fucking hop over the top rope and fucking
trips on the top rope and just lands on his side. Fucking great.
Killed me. So Pat starts chopping Gunther. And Gunther is laughing. Gunther's laughing at him as he's chopping him. He then starts hitting him with forearms and chops and just big boots, demolishing the man. He then hits Pat with a devastating big boot to the face. We get Gunther putting Pat McAfee in a sleeper hold, which Pat would then get out of. He would grab the rope. So Gunther let go of the sleeper, slapped Pat's arms away, and German suplexed him. And Pat's face, as this whole sequence was going on, as he like smacked his arms off the rope and then Germaned him, Pat's eyes are just all big and he's just like fucking scared of what's gonna fucking happen. So he gets Germaned. Gunther gets him on the second rope. And he goes to, I'm assuming, German suplex him off the top rope, but Pat counters it. He hits him with some elbows. Gunther falls. Gunther falls onto the mat. Pat goes for a backflip, and Gunther backs up a little bit to the point where Pat lands. He's still behind Gunther. And he hits him with, Gunther goes for another German suplex. Pat backflip counters out of that one, lands on his feet. And as Gunther is sitting down, he hits him with 2 punt kicks, one to the back and then one to the chest for a near fall. These two then start having a chop off, that obviously Gunther wins. Michael Cole then gets brought into the ring.
Oh, God.
He gets brought into the ring, and Gunther is grabbing him by his shirt. He goes to powerbomb him as Pat McAfee gives him a big boot to get him off of him. He gives him a big boot. These two are continue for a little bit more slugging, and Gunther hits Pat McAfee goes to hit a suplex on Pat. Cole grabs his foot. Cole grabs Gunther's foot while he is on the outside of the ring, Pat counters the suplex and lays on top of Gunther with Cole holding his foot so he can't kick out. Gunther still kicks out.
Beast.
He still kicks out as he looks at Michael Cole like, you motherfucker.
I was so shocked that he didn't fucking reel his leg back and fucking kick Michael Cole in that moment. I thought that was going to happen, but it didn't. Probably a good thing.
Probably. So Gunther is talking trash to Michael Cole because Michael Cole just tried to cost him the match. And Pat goes to take advantage of Gunther, who's supposed to be distracted with Michael Cole, yet Gunther just turns around and big boots the holy shit out of Pat McAfee right in his face. He then gets Pat McAfee in a Boston Crab that ends up getting released because because Gunther wanted to. He was close to the rope. Michael Cole tried rallying him on, and he got pretty damn close to the rope, but Gunther walked him back to the middle of the ring. Let him go. He then put Pat in a sleeper hold, which Pat got out of the first time, but as he went down for the second time, Gunther ended up putting Pat McAfee to sleep and winning this match in what lasted 14 minutes of what was such an enjoyable match. I thought this match was absolutely fantastic. I thought this was a lot better than his WrestleMania match with Jey Uso, which is fucking wild to say.
That's insane.
That was a World Heavyweight Championship match, and this was just a match to, I guess, restore some of his aura after tapping out to Jey Uso. Pat did an outstanding job, and it really goes to show you can put Gunther in literally almost any situation, and he is going to look like an absolute dog.
Except Jey Uso.
He's gonna look like an absolute dog and get the job done, man. So props to Gunther and props to Pat McAfee, because they fucking killed it. This was one of the best matches on the card.
It really was, dude. It was great. It was funny. It was interesting, and it was just good, man. It was brutal, which you love to see. Pat put up a fight, man, and Gunther was just playing with his food, man, and I think he enjoyed his night. And it was a great fucking match, dude. Way better than his Mania match with Jey Uso. And it was great. It was a great showcase for Gunther. I'm glad he was able to get the showcase, and obviously glad he won, and I'm glad he looks so much better than he did after Mania that he does now, man, and I'm very glad to see this is what we got.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. And for the first time that, at least, man, for the first time at least in a while, we've seen a little bit of a human side of Gunther after the match, as Pat McAfee rose to his feet. Michael Cole helped him to his feet, and Gunther tipped his cap to both men. He tipped his cap to Pat, and he tipped his cap to Pat, not his cat. He tipped his cap to McAfee and Michael Cole. In what was a very interesting. I fully expected him to beat the shit out of both of them after the match was done, but he actually didn't, man. He actually didn't. It was, like I said, it was a genuine show of respect from Gunther, which is interesting. Is very interesting, because we hardly see stuff like that from his character, man. But
I think it's also his way to end his beef with commentary. Is, you know what, commentary, they talk their shit, but they fought back, and you know what, they're gonna. I'm gonna let them say what they want to say, man, because you know that they could fight back when they need to. I think that's their way of wrapping that whole thing up, and I think they did it well.
I think so too, and I think it did add. I don't want to say a toughness, but it did add a little bit of like it added more of like a, just like these guys aren't just like, you know, pee-wee commentators
Exactly.
that just sit there, but they're pussies. You know what I mean? Like because
you know, during this whole thing, you know, Michael Cole's constantly, I'm not going to let no one bully me. I'm going to say what I feel as a commentator because that's my job and that's my right. And I'm going to say exactly how I feel about everybody. And I think this is his proving of that, is that he can just, you know, say how he feels about said person or thing or whatever. And I think they do look good after this.
Absolutely. But all in all, I think at the end of the day, what Michael Cole should have learned from all this is to just shut up and be a fan.
Just be a fan. If you're just a fan and you just watch and enjoy what they give you,
Everything.
you know, everything, every little thing, man. There's nothing to complain about.
Nothing to dislike. Yeah.
Exactly.
What's to dislike about the product, you know?
Exactly.
You just gotta shut up and just watch it as a fan.
Just enjoy it as a fan.
Yeah.
Per your boss.
Per Paul. Yeah, again, man, this was great. And yeah, we've seen Gunther, you know, give the show respect to both commentators, man. So I really like that touch, and I thought it was awesome. I thought what they did here was great stuff, man. So very, very enjoyable stuff there. As we got
For the last time.
Man.
It was man, this was way better
Come on
than
with
I
it,
thought
bro.
it was gonna be.
Come on with it.
The first half fucking is exactly what I expected. But it really
the
picked
first,
up.
like 10 minutes of this match was
Man, it's what I expected, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But it was really good, man. It was really good for their last time ever, and I you know, thought both guys did well. I mean, it was damn near just a finisher off, but that's exactly what it needed to be, if I'm being honest, because that's where they're at in their careers at this point. Is they're them and they're facing each other, and it's got to be a finisher off. They're two massive stars with massive, just, you know, like, oh, I don't know, hard to put it, but it just makes sense the way they put this match. I'm trying to think of a way to put, like, they win all the time. You know what I mean?
They have resiliency.
The resilience, exactly. Insane resiliency for both guys at their point in their careers.
They can take a lot of damage at this point in their careers.
Exactly. It's like putting Triple H versus Reigns in 2K. It's just going to be a kick-out fest, dude.
Triple H 01 and current Roman Reigns.
Those two are
Holy
demons
fuck.
in that fucking game, man. And every year, man. But this is better than I thought it was going to be, and I'm very, very happy with what we got here.
Definitely. The match started off pretty meh. Honestly, man, like I said, it was very slow. Drop down, leapfrog. You could tell this was like these guys reliving some of the shit they used to do in OVW.
The little sequences.
Exactly. Just like basic stuff that, you know, they probably trained doing together. So Cena tries leaving the match pretty early on into the match. He says, fuck it, I'm gonna just leave. I'm gonna just get counted out. He tries leaving. Orton runs up the ramp, brings him back to the ring. These two fight for a little bit more. This match really picked up for me at the part where John goes for the attitude adjustment and it gets countered into an RKO.
That is the pickup point for this match, most definitely.
That to me is where this match really took a turn, and obviously, like, and that's all you can ask for today with like a John Cena match, especially in this early into his farewell run. Is we all know he's gonna win, but to still have a good match, still with the predictable outcome,
really
is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty awesome that he is able to do that. And so he goes for the attitude adjustment. It gets countered into an RKO. We then get a little bit later, we get an attitude adjustment for a near fall. These two do some just traditional offense before Cena tries to get the 5 moves of doom going. He hits one shoulder tackle, hits the ropes to hit another one of these shoulder tackles, and as he jumps to hit the shoulder tackle, he gets hit with an RKO. He gets hit with an RKO out of nowhere, and He gets hit with an RKO out of nowhere, and as he's lying there, he goes for Orton. Yes, as Cena's lying there, Orton goes for a punt, which gets countered. It gets countered. He runs right into what ends up being an attitude adjustment. He runs right into an attitude adjustment for a near fall. Cena then goes for a punt of his own, which gets countered by Orton, and one of them bumps into the ref, and the ref goes down. Cena hits an attitude adjustment on Orton, realizes the ref is down, so he figures this is the perfect time to go and grab his championship. So he goes over and he grabs the championship. He goes to hit Randy Orton with said championship, but as he's running with the title, he gets RKO'd. He gets an RKO. He then goes for a cover, but the ref is down on the outside. I don't know how Orton didn't realize that, being that this referee was absolutely fucked.
Got demolished into the fucking steel steps
for half of this match. These guys are fighting on the outside, and the ref is back up at this point. They back up into the ref as he flies into the steel steps, and the ref is down again. John Cena then throws Orton into the ring post, uncovers Orton, but before that, Orton uncovered the announce table. Or did Cena? No, so I think Cena uncovered the announce table. He uncovered the announce table, took everything off of it, and he ends up getting a attitude adjustment on the announce table. It broke afterwards because poor 47-year-old John Cena had to just get AA'd stiff on the announce table.
Man.
So that while they're still on the outside, Orton sets up a regular table to, I guess, give John the satisfaction of not a stiff AA table spot. He gives Cena another attitude adjustment through a regular table on the outside. These two get in the ring. Orton hits John with an RKO for a near fall. After all that, John Cena kicks out. Crowd is going pretty crazy at this point in time. Cena grabs, as you know, both of these two are sort of recovering. Cena grabs his championship. He goes to hit Orton with the belt, and the new ref that just ran out there gets clunked in the head with the championship. At this point, a bunch of officials come running out there. I don't know exactly why.
Like,
I don't know. The ref had went down. This was the third time the ref had went down in this point in time. So I really question why all these officials didn't run out there before this, being that there was two other ref bumps.
Exactly. And the commentary's trying to play up like, oh man, they took out all the refs. But dude, I know you have more than two refs. I think I saw two other ones earlier in the night that if you really needed to, you could have run out there in those moments. So I don't know why all, the corporate guys ran out to fucking assess the situation, and they're like mad at them for taking out another ref. It's like, you have more refs. I don't know, man. I thought that was a little overbooked with with them coming out and whatnot. I think could have either just waited for the ref to get up or something, but I don't know.
So Orton takes a look at Aldis and RKO's Aldis. He then RKO's Gregory Helms and Jamie Noble and all the officials that you could think of that were out there. They took an RKO. They took an RKO from Randy. Yet again, sort of teasing that you are going to possibly be doing something with Randy Orton and Nick Aldis. So I don't really know if that's still the plan or if that's something that they still want to go to. I don't know how many RKOs it's going to take before Nick Aldis says fuck you. And
let's settle this shit.
yeah. But I don't know. That we will have to wait and see. But he puts on an RKO party for all of the officials and his general manager. Now, at this point in the match, he's got John Cena in perfect position for the punt. He goes to run at John Cena, and we start to hear the audience, come up. So I'm thinking, oh, God.
Who's here?
Please do not tell me Travis Scott is going to run in another main event and do this. I would actually take what we got over Travis Scott because it was our truth. It was our truth. It was John Cena's biggest fan.
Childhood hero of our truth, John Cena. So
correct. So Truth stops Randy Orton. Randy Orton's looking at him like, what are you doing, you idiot? So he RKO's him. Randy's standing there, man, as John Cena, as he watches R-Truth roll out of the ring. John Cena low blows Orton. He hits him with the belt and an attitude adjustment. And that same ref that got knocked down, not the one that got hit with the belt, the same ref that got thrown into the steel steps is just now finally crawling his way, just barely, to this spot.
He literally just got pushed into the steel steps. I've seen ref take much worse bumps. But all right. Yes, he saw his cue.
He did. He really did. So he hits him. He hits him with the championship and hits him with an attitude adjustment for the John Cena victory here, as John Cena retains in his first championship defense. As we watch Orton's shoulders go down to the mat one last time. Damn. For one of each men's greatest rivals of all time, each other.
Mm-hmm.
So this rivalry ends on May 10th, 2025 at Backlash in St. Louis for the WWE Championship, as these two put on what I fucking thought was a really fucking good match.
It was.
And this is why you have to set your expectations low for John Cena inside of the ring, because when we get something like this, it's going to be great. Mm-hmm. If we always expect him to do shit like this at his age and at the way he can wrestle, you're going to be disappointed quite a bit. But
exactly.
if you set your expectations realistically with John Cena in this stage of his career, and we get something like this, it turns out fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. This was a fucking awesome main event, and I thought this was a great way to end the feud, man. I do have a couple little complaints, man, but after the match, but as for the match, I thought it was great.
Exactly, man. I thought it was a really great main event. It really picked up after that first, AA into the RKO. After that, it really picked up, man. They just did a lot of really cool and interesting and fast sequences of just doing what those two do, man. Be kick-out machines, and that's exactly what you'd expect, and it made it all the more better, man. And the match was way better than, I expected it to be, and that's always a good thing, man. That's always a good thing. Really enjoyed it overall. I didn't love the R-Truth appearance.
Yeah.
I really think you could have just done what you did tonight without R-Truth, and I think the result would have been a little better than you got, but overall, it was a really great main event with these two. Very great and sad, obviously, main event last time ever for these two against each other. And they fucking made it count, man. It was a great main event. And great. Just a great main event. Glad we got what we got here. Little overbooked, with the R-Truth and then with Aldis and them coming out. But other than that, what Cena and Randy did specifically was really good, man. It was really good. I'm really glad we got this main event.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure WWE is on it, but I would really like to see after, the farewell tour is over, I would really love to see, what is the reaction from both men after they walk behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would like to see, because I'm sure we're going to get a lot of those moments this year where Cena shares a moment with, said opponent, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, after, both men walk through the curtain. And I feel the one he probably shared with Orton tonight was probably very personal and very cool. And I would like to see, and I'm sure, because I'm sure they always have cameras rolling, but I'm sure that they did, but I would really like to see WWE release some of that footage after this whole farewell tour is over. So yeah, there was the spot with R-Truth, and like it did,
That's
it
bad.
did get a little over. It did get a little overbooked there at towards the end with like all the officials coming out and then R-Truth. I'll say this. I didn't really like it. I am kind of sitting in the same boat as Sir K when I do think it could have happened without it.
I think so.
I think it definitely could have happened without it. But in saying that, I would rather R-Truth than Travis Scott, because
Very
I
much.
am about done with even like even with in the beginning of the match they were sort of mentioning like, oh, Cena, and he sold out to The Rock. Like, at
He's
this
not
point, dude,
around.
just shut up with just
Exactly.
shut up with The Rock shit. It's like it's over, dude.
Just
Please.
exactly. Put that shit to the side and just focus on Cena at this point, please.
Definitely. So yes, I'm glad it wasn't Travis Scott, like I said, but in the same sense, in the same sense, man, I do think that it wasn't needed. But I guess if they are going the route, or at least the rumored route, of Saturday night's main event, John Cena versus R-Truth for the WWE Championship, where I guess R-Truth is finally going to get to really see his childhood hero for who he really is, then I mean, that's it. It's a Saturday night's main event match. It's a throwaway match. It does kind of suck that is. I want to say that eats up a date, but just me thinking about, when I'm thinking about eating up dates, all I could think about is that eventual John Cena and Travis Scott tag team match. That's something that's eating up a date.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a celebrity match with John Cena and Travis Scott. So I mean, R-Truth. Again, I mean, I guess it would make a little bit of sense with the whole R-Truth and his childhood hero being John Cena, and then obviously their feud from 2011 when R-Truth went heel, from Capital Punishment 2011. So I mean, I'm sure it'll be, is what it is. I'm sure it'll be a nice little throwaway match, but yeah. So
most definitely.
So after all of this happens, we get one of the just oddest parts of the night with Cena is in the ring, and he obviously just defeated Randy Orton. He grabs the WWE, he's got the WWE Championship with him. He grabs a microphone and he says he's still the champ and he's still waiting for competition. He says he needs competition. What would this make anybody think?
Somebody's gonna come out and present themselves as competition.
Well, that's what I would have certainly thought, because which the only thing that I guess could get them out of this is if this continues to be a promo that he cuts until somebody does eventually come out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, oh, okay, this must be this surely is the spot where we're going to see Cody Rhodes come out. Because obviously I remember hearing about Cody Rhodes being rumored, or there's at least been a pitch for him to come back at Backlash.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that. Sir Kay had mentioned to me that there were photos of Brock Lesnar roaming around on social media in St. Louis.
I was terrified.
Which at that point I'm thinking, oh wow, I didn't even see the pictures. That just shocked me because obviously the nature of Brock Lesnar nowadays, it just was like, oh
god,
they're really really
care.
doing this. So all that stuff was interesting. Obviously, all that stuff was very interesting to think about. And then, and then they go off the air. They literally just go off the air. So again, I don't know why you would cut that kind of promo, knowing that his next match is probably going to be R-Truth at Saturday night's main event. That's the first thing. Unless, like I said, this is going to be a promo that he continuously cuts until Cody Rhodes does inevitably come back, because I don't even really know at the moment, because we can all sit here and say, well, I want CM Punk to be the one to take the title from John Cena, but at the end of the day, how long is CM Punk going to be wrapped up with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins? This isn't going to be a one pay-per-view feud.
No.
You know what I mean? Don't be shocked if this gets stretched out till SummerSlam.
I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Which at that, we could actually be looking at the end of the year for Punk to take the championship away from John Cena and not be looking at SummerSlam. Or we could be looking at Cody Rhodes coming back and facing John Cena at SummerSlam and taking the title back from John Cena at SummerSlam. That's another thing that's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't really want to see that.
No.
I don't really care for them to just hip hop the championship right back onto Cody Rhodes. I don't really know what the idea is for John Cena right now, and that's cool. I'm interested to see as we're going along how it does develop, but it's just very interesting to me why he would say something like that. Being that again, his next match is R-Truth, so to say something like that, I feel is a bit of a hype up for something that ultimately is a match with R-Truth. And it seems like they're setting the stage a bit high, even for it to be Cody Rhodes. You know what I mean? He already beat Cody Rhodes, so why would Cody Rhodes inevitably be the guy that comes out to the I Need Competition challenge?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That seems like something for like a CM Punk to come out to. So it's just very, very interesting. And I thought that was very odd that they would have him kind of cut that promo. Was there any thoughts you had on the promo specifically before we get to the final thing that he kind of did or insinuated?
To be honest, it was less about the promo itself and less about John Cena, more about the moment of ending the show like that. I feel like Triple H has this need to where, the produced by thing comes up and you get the little, copyright thing. I feel like Triple H has a need to tease something during that moment to where you're like, oh, is it actually going to end, or is this going to... And I feel like it's ruining those moments where things happen when that hits, because all you're thinking about during that moment is, oh, is something about to happen, or are they not actually ending the show? And I feel like what you need to do most of the time is end the show naturally. Into the moments where that does happen, they come off more of the shock. I think you're kind of teasing too much of that in our face to where we're kind of damn near expecting it every pay-per-view now. And I really think they need to tone back on that and just end things naturally and end things more simply, so when things do happen, it's more of a surprise. That was more of that to me, man. That's really what I was thinking about during that moment, is like, stop ruining the moment of the show going off air and us thinking something's gonna happen when almost nothing ever happens, and we're just leaving just more confused. Where if you just end it naturally, that's all, it just ends naturally, to where when you do have a surprise, it's actually surprising. That was more what I was thinking about.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, it is. It is. It definitely is something that happens quite often in this era. But
Mm.
we go to the little beginning of the post show, and we come back, and they're chanting "Thank you, Cena," and then we get this weird little moment where he kind of looks like conflicted, and he
Mm-hmm.
looks kind of sad. And he's like looking at the championship as the crowd is chanting "Thank you, Cena." Obviously, we kind of hear that chant a lot. Obviously, that's nothing out of the ordinary. But what was out of the ordinary was he kind of looks sad, and he's
Mm.
like looking out into the crowd, and he has
A sadness, like a regretful sadness on his face.
and so that's very interesting to me because I always go back to one of the interviews that Cena was doing building up into Mania, and he even said there, he said in that interview, in this whole story, we have a lot of crazy twists and turns that we're still going to take. So it's very interesting to me, and it really makes me think that, like, he actually, don't count it out that he reverts back to a baby face in
Sooner than we think.
yeah, and it's very interesting to see stuff like
That already be teased.
stuff like this with like Randy Orton. We see stuff like this stuff with Orton where the roles are reversed, and I would hate to see them go back on that before we can see feuds like Punk and AJ, because I would
Mm-hmm.
really like to see those with the roles reversed. But it's very interesting to me where they're gonna take which road they're gonna take with all this, because yeah, like I said, there was a brief moment there where he sort of looked sad, and
Mm-hmm.
he kind of looked, like I said, a little conflicted. So I don't know where we're going with all that, man, but it was definitely interesting, and it was definitely worth mentioning.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah, like I said, it was weird. It definitely caught me off guard because I just didn't expect that. Because when he was leaving WrestleMania, he had a smile on his face.
Yeah, he was
You know,
content.
you know what I mean? And obviously, you could see the little bit of real human emotion kind of seep through. You could see, I don't know if you've seen the video, but he has one tear roll down his eye, and he
Mm-hmm.
quickly wipes it away. But he was walking up the ramp, and he had this just evil smirk on his face. Here he was walking away, and
He was sad.
he looked kind of sad. So it was very interesting to me, and it was just raised eyebrows as to where they're gonna, maybe take this whole thing. Maybe they wanna, maybe end this little heel run sooner than later because of the Rock and his non-involvement, or whatever the case is. I don't know, man. I don't know where it's gonna go, but I thought that was very, very interesting, and a very interesting way to end the show. But
Very much.
we see no Cody Rhodes.
Nope.
Cody did not come back yet, despite being rumored for it. Yeah, he did not come back, and I thought that was the right move. I thought it was, I thought it was too early to bring him back, especially there's no way you bring Cody Rhodes back and then Cena faces R-Truth. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, at the next show. So it's gonna just it'll have to wait a little bit longer. I don't know when they do the Cody and Cena rematch, which, like I said, I don't know if they want the rematch to be where Cody wins the title back, or maybe he's just going to take another L. Very interesting to see. And yeah, man, I mean, this John Cena farewell tour is very unpredictable, and
Very.
it's one thing that I actually like most about it is just, when are they going to do this feud, when are they going to do that feud, and how all the pieces of the puzzle are going to come together on this whole thing.
Yeah, we have no idea what comes next, and that can be very much a good thing, man. Like the way they're doing it. Very interesting that they're teasing, him regretting the heel turn this soon. And it's just very interesting to see the direction they're taking, to where at this point I think that the heel turn is gonna end sooner than we thought, and we'll see how it goes from there, man. But very interesting nonetheless.
Absolutely, man. So that was the main event, which, again, man, like I said, great main event. That was a lot better than even I expected it to be.
Most definitely was really fucking good, man.
So yeah, yeah, man, that is that's basically everything. That's basically. Oh, not to mention they went 27 minutes and 50 seconds. So they damn near. John Cena at age 47 put on a pretty fucking good match that lasted 30 minutes in the main event slot.
Crazy to say, man. Crazy to say.
Yes, and we spoke about being better than WrestleMania. This was this main event I would probably say was better than the Mania main event.
Oh, most definitely, man. The matches tonight with the people involved were better than the involved title matches they had at Mania. Insane.
Gunther and Pat was better than Gunther and Jay, and now Cena Randy was better than Cena Cody.
Most definitely.
What the fuck?
The hell happened, man?
So, the next pay-per-view for WWE we will be on here talking with you guys about is in a little under a month, and that being Money in the Bank.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got, before that for AEW, just here in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
2 weeks. Next weekend. Not the upcoming weekend, but the next one.
Yes. So, yeah. So,
25th.
Gotcha. Yeah, so cool. 2 weeks away. Yes, 2 weeks away. We got Double or Nothing for you folks, man. So
see you guys at midnight that day.
Yes, we will be not even live. Right, it's 11:37 p.m. Chicago time. We won't even be on the air yet.
No,
with Double or Nothing's review.
We'll probably be watching the ending sequence to the main event at this point in the night.
Yep. Right now, we will probably be hearing.
Yep.
As fucking John Moxley pisses off another fucking AEW crowd for the fifth pay-per-view in a row. So yeah, man, like I said, I thought this was a pretty awesome show in a lot of ways. This was fucking better than WrestleMania.
It was, dude.
In a lot of ways. And yeah, I thought this was a solid ass show, man. I thought this was a solid ass show. I thought they did a great job. And this whole match, every single match, all 5 of them
were good.
There wasn't a bad one.
No,
there was not a bad match at all in here, man. So I love that. I can appreciate that, man. And yeah, so with all of that being said, man, that is gonna do it for this edition of the Notorious Heels podcast, man. That is going to do it for another edition of your WWE PLE post-show reviews, man. Thank you guys so very much for joining us here today on your Saturday night. We missed it a little bit. I wasn't sure if we were going to go past midnight or not, but
happy Mother's Day.
We're not past midnight yet, but happy Mother's Day to everybody. Everybody's OGs out there, all the good OGs out there, man. Happy Mother's Day to all the great mothers.
Truly,
I can't wait to celebrate my OG tomorrow, and excited as always, man. But yes, happy Mother's Day to all the great mothers. Thank you for everything that you do for us, and everything you guys continue to do for your children. So
truly,
always, man. So that is going to do it for this edition of the Notorious Heels podcast. This has been your Backlash 2025 official post-show review. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. This has been always a pleasure for my Johnny.
And I, Sir K.
And that is going to do it for this edition of, like I said, your Backlash 2025 St. Louis official post-show review. Like I said, the next time you guys catch us on here for the post-show review is in 2 weeks for AEW's Double or Nothing. Thank you guys, as always, so very much for joining us. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all on Monday after Monday Night Raw with NHP Unscripted.
Peace.